All right, guys, today we're gonna show you how to start your print on your Lisa X. Now, as a note, all of these products are sold and supported by the team at visionminer.com. So if you have a machine or you've got questions about a machine or you need a sample part, you need to know if it's actually gonna work for your business and your products, give us a call, shoot us an email. We're here to help you find out and get you the resources that you need to know for sure. All right, so now that we sent the slice files to the printer over the Wi-Fi network, we're gonna go over to the printer, load the file in, load the powder and the material in, and then get the print started. So let's go do that real quick. Jay? All right, so here we're gonna go and add a new print job and go to Recent, and we've got our new file right here. It's about 10 hours, and it's packed full of all sorts of parts. I'm gonna go ahead and just tap that one. I can see my preview, so I know that's the one we put in there. That's what we're printing today. And I can go ahead and hit done. And then it's going to proceed to open the lid. So I need to unlock the lid. Go ahead and open that real quick. I'm gonna click position beds. And now it's gonna move everything around. It's gonna move the fill bed down far enough so that we can fill it up with powder. And this bed is gonna go down and then back up. So this will take just a second.
Okay, now that the bed is positioned, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the powder and put it inside the machine. Now I have the powder right here. Go ahead and open that. And then we have the funnel over here. Open this baby up. Put this thing on there, like so, and lock it. Now, the machine comes with this I/O box right here. And if you take a look over here, it's gonna say powder in and then powder out. Right now we're putting the powder in, so you wanna go ahead and put this in where you can read where it's powder in, like so. I'll go ahead and put this in here and slowly put it in. Now you wanna fill it up to about 3 to 4 inches at a time. Okay, and what you wanna do is use this little spatula and then go in there and kind of move the powder around, and that will get the powder to be packed densely inside the build chamber. Add a little more in there, fill it up to the top. Now the powder is in, let's take this out. All right, and now we're gonna pack it with that packer that will come with the machine.
All right, so now that we've got the powder loaded, we're gonna hit done. And it says to compress the powder. We already did that. We used the trowel. So now we want to remove the powder stored under both guides. And that basically means we're just going to take one of these blue things again. We're going to get everything out from underneath that little guide.
Yeah, it's very important to get everything out from this rail here, because this rail side is not connected to anything, so it can lift up. So you want to clear it out from that side, and back here is very important.
You can just sort of poke it in and wiggle it around all throughout the bed, just to even everything out, even all the pressure, make sure there's no air gaps. All right, you can clean any powder that you spilled over the edges, use a brush or something like that, and make sure that this seal is definitely clean. So next, we're just gonna hit done. And now it's gonna begin the auto leveling. So we hit start leveling. So if it's looking low on the build platform side, just get a little bit in your scooper and just, you know, toss a little bit there to make sure it has enough to level out the whole build plate. If you need to, if there's too much on the backside, you can use that little blue scraper to just move some powder over to the other side.
Okay, everything looks good. All smooth, we'll go ahead and stop leveling. After it's done leveling, go ahead and press done.
If you skip a step, don't worry. You can always hit the back button right here. All right, so now we're gonna use a cloth to clean the guide bars. Now it comes with a special cloth here, and you can just take off some of that. Jay, go for it.
You see this recorder is right in the middle there. I'm gonna go ahead and move it to the side so I can clean the rail. Okay, so go here. I'll move it to the left so it's cleared out. And I'll go under this rail over here. So I go under with a towel, and then just make sure you don't touch anything here. Just want to go ahead and rub it back and forth, clean the underside like so, and then we'll go ahead and clean the top also. Looks good. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side.
All right, now technically when you have this set up, it's designed so that the printer actually sits this way. So it's a lot easier to work with. For these videos, obviously we want to show you the whole process, but just take note of that. So you make sure you use ethyl rubbing alcohol, not isopropyl alcohol, because isopropyl will actually leave a thin film at high temperatures on that pyrometer window, which is sensing the temperature of the surface of the powder that's being sintered. So it's really important that you use ethyl rubbing alcohol to clean that glass so that it gets a clear view of the temperature and your print comes out correctly.
Just a little.
All right.
And you see this window here.
Zoom in.
So you want to clean that really, really well.
So as you can see here, we kind of messed up and we messed up the bed leveling, so that's okay. We're just gonna go ahead and hit the back button a couple times, go back to that leveling. So now it's gonna smooth it out in one quick pass, maybe 2 passes. There we go. And now we're gonna go ahead and stop leveling and we'll close it down. Now, when it closes, you give it a nice push and you'll hear it latch close. And then you can also test and make sure you can open it. From there, we're gonna go done. And then you're gonna make sure that the E-stop button is not pressed. Obviously it's not, it is out like that, and you can twist it just to make sure. And press the reset button to activate the security system. You hear a pop in the back, the security system is activated, it's ready to start the print. Then all you do is hit start print. It's gonna run a self-check and it'll show you a bunch of self-tests here. This is actually really important. What it's gonna be doing is testing the motors, the laser, the infrared bulbs. Now, for the infrared bulbs, it's actually gonna turn them all on and off rapidly. It's gonna test all the infrared bulbs by maxing out the voltage, just in case any of them burn out. It's gonna max out that voltage, so in case during the print it might go out, it's gonna make sure they're all healthy bulbs, so they're not gonna go out during the print. And then it's gonna test the fans, the inert gas system. If you're using the carbon fiber, then that is something you'll need, nitrogen gas. All right, guys, so we're gonna let this thing print for the next 10 hours, and in the morning, we're gonna come back, we're gonna empty it out, and we're gonna show you the depowdering process and the station getting those parts out. All right, guys, we're here the next day and the print has finished, so we're gonna go through and open it up and then get some depowdering going on before we go into removing the overflow bin, refreshing the powder for the next print, and then sandblasting. So let's go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and hit the remove printout, and then it's gonna allow you to unlock the lid. So you'll hear it click, and then you just press down and then pull up. And you'll see inside here your nice powder cakes. Okay, so now we're gonna hit position beds, and it's gonna move the recoder to the side so that you can fit the I/O box in here. Now we just grab the I/O box right out of in here. Now, the thing to look at on here is normally the printer, Jay, could you position the printer the way it's going to normally be? And you want to see print out, so that means this says powder in, print out. And so we wanna flip it around the opposite direction. So this is facing away. Okay, so I'm gonna position the I/O box right over the bed here so that when it comes up, it's all within the slot. So now, Jay, go ahead and hit the button.
Done. I'm gonna go ahead and press remove print out. And now it's gonna move up. The cake is gonna move up into the I/O box.
All right, so now we're gonna start the powder handling station so that it's creating a downdraft. And then Jay's gonna bring over the cake, the powder cake. You just slide the 2 halves together, and then you just take it over and then slide the 2 halves apart. And then of course the drawer is right underneath, handy dandy, ready to go to put the I/O box back after you shake all the powder out. Now, you could start cleaning the machine and everything and get that ready for another print, but we're gonna go straight into some depowdering. We're gonna leave this hood up just for the sake of the video, but I wanna give you a couple tips when you're breaking apart your powder cakes. What I like to do is just go right in here, and you can sort of just mash the whole thing with your hands. And then just sort of move it around, open it up, and you can pretty much see all kinds of parts just came out. Okay, that was really easy, actually. All right, and then you just sort of move everything around, shake it around. You can start putting the parts that you see over to the side. So I like to go through and get a bunch of parts out. Now, by the way, if you're interested, this is how we make our living, by selling systems and providing educational and training content like this. So if you're interested in this type of system, please do give us a call or shoot us an email. It's 833-774-6863. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Pacific time. We are here to answer your questions, print sample parts, get you the information you need to use so you can determine if this is even something that's viable for your business model. Now, I will say, anybody out there making custom parts, car parts, electronics, there's a lot of industries where you can make insane ROI on these machines by producing your parts in-house instead of paying for an injection mold. Those molds can get really expensive. And then if they're off by a hair, you gotta pay 30 grand for a mold. And then it's off by a bit, you gotta do it again. You know, this will allow you to print several hundred small parts. You could, frankly, I think you could fit like 800 to 1200 of a part this size in one build volume. So if you're only doing runs of a couple hundred parts at a time, or you only need a couple hundred a day, or a week for that matter, then this is a really good option. We got some really, really small detailed parts in here, which is why we're using the small screen. And we can always just keep all our powder in one place using the provided squeegee like this. Okay, so now that we've got them mostly basically depowdered, we're gonna put those over to the side, but I'm gonna actually wipe off an area because I wanna reclaim all this powder. All this powder is gonna be used in another build. So I'm gonna put these over here for now. I'm just gonna scrape everything down into the powder handling station. Oh, look at that tiny little part. You can do really highly detailed stuff on this machine. That is a tiny part, okay? Now, I'll explain what these are for in just a second, but for now, what we want to do is go through the rest of the steps on the printer. So, I'm gonna go over here, let me show you the screen. So take the I/O box, close it, take it out. So I'm gonna hit done. And then it says remember to clean the printer. So we're gonna hit clean the printer. The lid's already open, it knows that. So now we're gonna take our hose and we're gonna use any of these attachments like these for the end of the hose, and we're gonna clean the powder out of the machine. Okay, and then we're gonna switch attachments to get under the recoder guides and the actual recoder cords. And just to loosen up any extra powder that we didn't get before. And you don't have to be super thorough, especially if you're not changing materials. It won't matter too much. Okay, so now I'm gonna hit done, and I'm gonna use the screen to move that recoder out of the way. As you can see, there's a bunch of powder right here that we didn't get yet. Then I can also come over here and clean up anything on the station itself. Even down in here, you'll see there is powder on top of the grate. Now I just like to hit it a couple times and then maybe get the rest of it this way. So now we need to follow the rest of the instructions on the printer. So I can say done, we're good there. And then we're gonna unlock the front door of the printer. All right, unlock overflow. I'm gonna bring this out. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna pour whatever's left in here down into here. Now, one curious little thing is you've got 10 seconds with it unlocked. You wanna unlock it before you put it back in, and then it will self-lock. Okay, there we go. Gonna close that up. Great job, your printer is clean. So now we're gonna show the refresh info. For this, it's gonna require 1.1 liters of fresh powder to make all the old powder basically fresh again. So we're gonna come in here and get our scooper and our measuring carafe. What do you call it? Measuring pitcher. So we're gonna look on here and it shows 1.1. So I wanna go up to that line with the powder. Now this is really easy to do because you just bring over the actual powder and we're gonna scoop her in. About 1.2. It's better to have a little too much than too little. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this. We're gonna seal this up. Make sure it's secure on all sides. And it should go down nice and tight. And then we're gonna pour this in here. And then it's optional, but you can take everything that makes it down through the sieve and run that through the auger and sieve again to extra nicely mix everything together. Okay, good on that. Store this back where it goes. And I like coming in here, giving it a nice whack, and then taking a brush and just getting everything down in there. Okay, so now that's gonna do its job and it's gonna sift everything so that powder's ready to go. Now we're gonna hit done. And then we're ready for the next print job. So now we're gonna move on to sandblasting. Now finishing your parts is a really big part of the equation. If you really look at it, we've got these larger parts and these smaller parts. And these little things are gonna make it really easy to sandblast. So let's go over to the sandblaster, put our parts in there. And then we're gonna switch our powder handling station, the multi-PHS, hit the button. Let's go to the sandblaster. Now, I'm gonna unplug this hose down here and plug in the sandblaster hose. Now that's gonna create a downdraft, make it easier to see my parts and keep it from just being a general mess. Now I'm gonna hit the button again. All right, here we go. So really with parts like this, you wanna go on even, sort of like spray painting. You wanna go evenly across the whole part. And depending how much you do it, it will change the surface of the part. So I'm gonna try to get it evenly from the same distance and roughly the same amount of time. If I stay in one area a lot, then it will, you can actually damage the surface of parts with the sandblaster. And once again, we sell all this stuff and we provide service support and training for all this equipment. So if you're interested in SLS 3D printers, FDM 3D printers, 3D scanners, or a variety of other additive manufacturing related equipment, we are always here to help. Give us a call, shoot us an email at 9 to 5, Monday through Friday Pacific time. Let's do this other part. Okay. Sort of moving my hand, remembering where it was. Now, if you're interested in an automated solution for this, definitely give us a call and we'll let you know what the options are. We've got a couple solutions available to make this process non-manual, fully automated. Okay, now you might have noticed we put the small parts into this little tin, all right? So I'm gonna hold the tin like this, and it's gonna allow me to get all these tiny little parts without them flying all over the chamber. All right, now let's check them out. Got a couple little parts here. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the difference. I'm gonna sandblast just a part of this part, right? So you've got that. You've got a certain surface finish, right? Now I'm just gonna do this area really close, but I'm gonna spend a minute on it. So if you wanna see the full detailed video of sandblasting, be sure to subscribe and we'll get that over to you. Okay, so now that we've got them sandblasted, that is the entire process. Come check these parts out. So that one has not really been sandblasted that much yet. You can see there's parts all over it. Now you can see this one, nice and depowdered. You can also see all these little parts here. We got some bottle openers, some really cool bottle openers. We've got these gears that move in place and literally just print in place like that. Full joint actuating. And little things of like electronics connectors, all sorts of things you can do with this, and Jay's sandblasting the rest of the parts. But even here you can see where, if we look at the surface finish, that is a little bit darker than that. So sandblasting does matter. So you'll definitely want to give us a call about the automated solutions if you're doing large batches of parts. But in general, that is the process. So going from start to finish on the Lisa X. Thank you guys so much for watching. Jay, you got any last comments for the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. We do sell all this system that you see in our videos today at visionminer.com. So if you are looking for a 3D printing solution, whether that in SLS or FDM, give us a call, send us an email. We're here to help you.
On that note, have a positive rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.